So let me ask you something. Have you been waking up lately and just dreading work?
That feeling of, ugh, I have to go in again.
Exactly. And you start thinking your boss is being annoying on purpose, and you just want to write that resignation letter right now, even without another job lined up.
If that sounds familiar to you, you are definitely not alone. But today, we're going to talk about a perspective that might just change everything about how you see your career.
What is it?
It's the idea that the workplace, it's not a marriage. It's a B2B commercial cooperation, a business-to-business deal.
Right. Your job isn't a safe harbor or a family. You're not just an employee. You are an independent company.
And once you really get that, once you adopt this B2B mindset, so much of the emotional pain, the guilt you feel about leaving or being unhappy, it just shifts. It turns into professional clarity.
So our mission for this deep dive is to break down what top career counselors are saying about this. We want to give you a real framework for, managing burnout and making smart career moves.
We're going to hit 3 key concepts. That B2B mindset, the difference between a pull factor and a push factor when you quit, and a structural problem called the Peter Principle that might be setting you up to fail.
Okay, so let's start with that B2B mindset. I think a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this, treat their job search like they're dating.
Exactly. They're searching for the one, the perfect company, the perfect culture.
The boss who's a mentor, the colleagues who become your best friends.
Right. And they think if they find it, they'll stay forever. It's this happily ever after myth for your career.
But then what happens when, the honeymoon is over?
Yeah.
When the company isn't the one, you feel this huge sense of failure, like you messed up.
Absolutely. And our sources highlight this perfectly with the story of a guy named Tom. Tom was always miserable at work.
Why?
Because he needed his boss to praise him. He needed his colleagues to genuinely like him. He was treating his job like this really sensitive personal relationship.
So if he thought about leaving, it felt like a breakup.
A huge one. He felt trapped because he was mixing up his professional value with his need for personal acceptance.
And then he had this big paradigm shift.
He did. He realized, work is not my emotional refuge. The only person I'm truly responsible for is me. Or rather, my own independent company.
That changes everything.
It does. Suddenly, Tom, Incorporated, has to manage its own tech, which is his skills. He has to manage his own marketing. That's his personal brand.
And crucially, he has to manage his own finances.
Yes. You have to have capital in case a contract ends. So when he started seeing his job as a B2B contract, where he provides a service for a fee, the pain it vanished.
Because when the contract is done, when you've learned what you needed to learn, it's just business. It's time to find the next partner.
Precisely. High turnover isn't a moral failing anymore. It's just a normal business cycle. The guilt is gone.
This also puts a different spin on the idea of a naked resignation, quitting without a plan.
It does. From a B2B perspective, you can do it, but there's a condition. A real company wouldn't just shut off its only source of revenue without a safety net.
So you need savings, a buffer.
You need operating capital. Maybe 6 months of expenses. It turns a rash emotional decision into a calculated business risk. It demands responsibility, not just spontaneity.
Okay, so speaking of contracts and business deals, let's talk about the counteroffer. That moment when you try to quit and your boss says, wait, we'll pay you more.
Ugh, yes. The sources we looked at are, almost aggressive about this point, and it's a huge golden nugget of wisdom.
What is it?
Do not stay because the boss raises your salary. Never.
Never. That's a strong word.
It is, but it's critical. Think about it. The professional contract, the trust is already broken at that point.
Whoa, so?
The second you accept that counteroffer, your identity in that company changes. You have just shown them that your loyalty can be bought. Management will never fully trust your commitment again.
You're officially a flight risk.
You are marked. And from their perspective, why did they give you the raise? Not because they suddenly realized your true worth. They did it to avoid the hassle and cost of replacing you.
It's a short-term risk management fee for them.
Exactly. And here's the really brutal part. If they could afford to pay you that much more to keep you, why weren't they paying you that already?
Yeah.
It proves they were actively undervaluing you for as long as they could get away with it. When you accept, you're just getting paid what you were worth all along, but the respect is gone.
And they're probably already looking for your replacement, just in case.
Most certainly. The only real way to win is to walk away with that external offer. You maximize your value on the open market and you protect your own brand's integrity.
You're showing that you, the independent company, are focused on strategic growth, not just a temporary cash grab.
Right. Now, If we're thinking like a business, we have to look at why these contracts fail. And often, it's not personal, it's structural.
Which brings us to the Peter Principle.
Yes. It's fascinating how often a promotion is the direct cause of burnout and misery. The Peter Principle basically says that we get promoted based on doing a great job in our current role.
Until you land in a job that you're actually incompetent at, and then you get stuck there.
Precisely. And that level of incompetence is so often middle management.
Right. The brilliant coder gets promoted to manage a team of coders.
And it's a disaster. Because the skills are completely different. You are great at managing technical tasks. Your new job is about managing people, their motivations, their conflicts, their careers, skills you have zero training in.
The sources had a great story about a guy named Brian who went through this. He was promoted to manager at a big U.S. consultancy and was suddenly leading his former peers.
And he was failing. Badly. Because he was still trying to get them to like him, to be his friends.
Which wasn't his job anymore.
Not at all. He had this breakthrough where he realized his job wasn't to be the star player anymore, the Mario who wins the game himself. He had to become the team leader in Call of Duty, enabling other people to win.
His goal had to shift from seeking affection to commanding respect.
Exactly. Once he focused on results, making sure his team performed, got big bonuses, got recognized, things started to turn around. But that struggle is what burns out so many new managers.
And when they feel that burnout, they often try to fix the system around them.
Yes. Which leads to the second big structural problem, the pickle theory.
I love this analogy.
It's so good. So people always say they're quitting because of the corporate culture. The pickle theory says the company culture is like brine, you know, the liquid in a pickle jar.
Okay.
If you, a cucumber, are dropped into that brine, you're going to get pickled. You can't change the brine. You can't turn it back into fresh water.
The system is designed to change you, not the other way around.
That's it. And the implication is huge. If the culture is toxic or just doesn't fit your values, you can't waste your energy trying to fix it. That delusion just leads to more frustration and burnout.
So if the brine is bad, you get out of the jar.
You terminate the B2B contract and find a partner with a healthier culture.
This all brings us back to what might be the most important idea of all. The reason why you should leave.
Yes. You must resign because of a pull factor, not a push factor.
This is the difference between running away from a job and running towards something new.
Exactly. Push factors are all the negative things. A bad boss, boring work, terrible colleagues, low pay. You're escaping misery.
And what's the problem with that?
The problem is, if you're only running away, you often end up in the same situation somewhere else, just with different names and faces. You haven't solved the real issue, which is that you don't know what you're running toward.
So a pull factor is about having that vision.
It's about having a deliberate strategic goal. You have to ask yourself, what kind of professional with what specific skills do I want to be in 5 years?
And you need to be concrete about it.
Very. The expert in our source materials suggests a 3-keyword strategy. Treat every job contract like it's a 2-year master's program. And you define 3 concrete things you must get from it.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you're an engineer. You're technically great, but your English isn't strong and you want to work globally. Your 3 keywords for your next 2-year contract could be 1. Achieve professional English fluency. 2. Master large-scale project design. And 3. Manage a budget over $1 million.
So it's like a checklist.
It's a checklist. And once you've checked those 3 boxes, the contract has served its purpose. The B2B deal is done. It's time to find the next partner for your next 3 keywords.
And that completely removes the emotional jolt of quitting. It's not an escape. It's a planned graduation, a milestone.
That's the perfect way to put it. And one last piece of advice from the sources on this, for people feeling true burnout, which they define as, extreme repetition and lack of challenge.
What's the advice?
Don't just quit your entire field to escape. Don't go from being an engineer to a dessert chef overnight. The risk of failure is too high, and the financial cost of starting from zero is massive. Instead, look for controlled growth. Try vertical growth, tackle deeper, more complex problems in your field. Or horizontal growth, add a new, related skill, like an engineer learning about fire prevention codes.
Grow where you're planted, just in a new direction.
Exactly. It's a much safer and more strategic way to combat that feeling of stagnation.
So to wrap this whole deep dive up, the power really is in your hands. You, as your own independent company, can fire your boss at any time.
As long as your company is strong, as long as you have value, skills, and a network. The key is to stop treating work like a romance and start treating it like the professional game it is.
And every bit of effort you put in should be building your own brand, your own value, not the company's.
Right. Which brings us to the final thought we want to leave you with.
If you are thinking about quitting right now, ask yourself this one question and be honest.
Am I running away from this job because of pain a push factor? Or am I running toward a specific, planned, exciting future a pull factor?
That distinction right there is the line between staying stuck in a cycle and achieving real, sustainable career growth.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into career wisdom and the B2B mindset, please subscribe. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Are you thinking of leaving your current contract because of a pull factor or a push factor?
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.